All right, so I always start by writing down the problem. So 5x plus 2y equals negative 22, and negative 10x minus 10y equals 20. So once I have that written down, I have to get either my y's or my x's to match. And this one you can do either one. So what would I have to do to get my x's to match? So I want them both to be a 10. So in order to get that 5 to be a 10, I would multiply by 2. And I have to do it through the entire equation, otherwise I'm changing it. So I'm distributing that 2 through all the way through. So that becomes 10x, because that's 2 times 5. 2 times 2 is 4y. And then 2 times a negative 22 equals negative 88. So now I'm just looking at these two equations, and I'm essentially just like yesterday adding down. So this gets canceled out because 10 minus 10 is 0. And then I have a negative 6y, combining these, and a negative 68. Is 88 minus, oh guys, 2 times 22 is not 88, it's 44, which makes this a negative 24. Sorry, trying to hold my phone and take a video at the same time. So this is negative 24 because 44 minus 20 is 24, and my bigger number is negative. And then I would divide both sides by negative 6. So y equals a positive 4, because my signs are the same. All right, so then you're going to take this y and plug it in here. So I have 5x plus 2 times 4 equals negative 22. You could plug it into the second equation too if you prefer that. It doesn't really matter. So you have 5x plus 8 equals negative 22. And then you're going to solve for x to get your x. So minus 8 minus 8. So you have 5x equals negative 30. Divide both sides by 5. And x equals negative 6. So remember, when you're putting it in, you have your shift 9, which opens your parenthesis, your x value, which is negative 6, and your y value, no spaces, and then close your parenthesis with shift 0, and then it should stay white, and add some pixels or squares of your thing. All right, so for number 2, then you're going to want to either, I noticed that these are already the opposite, so I would multiply that top one by 2, so the y's would be canceled out. Remember, when you multiply, you're going to multiply all the way through. So that cancels out the y, you'll solve for x, then you'll plug x back in, and then solve for y. This one, these two don't look like you can match them unless you were multiplying by both, but this you could multiply by 2, but I noticed then it would be the same, so I want it to be the opposite. So I would multiply negative 2 all the way through there and then combine to get rid of x. For number 4, it looks like you would probably want to get this to be 2y, so I would multiply that whole thing by 2. Get rid of the y and solve for x, and then remember, once you've solved for x, you can plug that back in and solve for y. So hopefully that helps.